middle. And if anybody's got a very soft voice, please will you try to make it a little bit harder so that we capture everybody on this. I think we're about halfway across now, so that should be okay. So can we just introduce ourselves? Can we go around the room so that everybody knows everybody?
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I'm Nopwanga Magwaza. I'm a child care worker. Started from 2014. I was groomed by the NSCW and a very rural community. And I've moved from my sites to another sites to work again as a child care worker. And like previously, I did information technology and computer sciences. Along the way, I've got the child care worker. So I found it very difficult to leave the career, even if because child care worker lives within. It's something that it's hard. I found it very difficult just to disengage. So I just wish there is no limitations regarding to furthering my studies from where I am, and I end up taking another career only to find that I am not interested at all. But child and care has done so much for me personally, and also other the community children that I've worked with. There's so much I can tell about this profession.
Well, thank you. I'm hoping to hear all of that. Thank you so much. So, who are you and just where are you from?
Oh, okay. My name is Thamsanqa Mhlopane. Yes, I'm a child and youth care worker and also an online supervisor, and I'm coming from St. Teresa's.
And part of the LOC, Clancy.
Good morning. My name is Fomi Ngulego Msomi. I'm a child and care worker from St. Teresa's. Before I was working here at NSCW as a trainer. So now I'm off the.
Morning, everyone. I'm Umile Mdletshe. I'm a child and care worker. I've been working with the NSCW from 2015, I think. Yes. I enjoy working with children. I've learned something that I didn't know. Being a child and care worker has made me to grow up a little bit. So yeah.
My name is Kolisile Mdambo. I work at DCH. Before that, I worked at William Clark, Justin Beat, and then I moved to DCH. So I've been working with the DCH for some time now. I find it interesting working with the young people. So that's why I'm not moving forward to another career or anything else. Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Morning. My name is Bonsile Boyama. I'm a child care worker. It's the child care center. Before I worked at Umgeni, Senton House with the street kids. Then I moved to DCH.
Okay. So we've already just gone halfway around the room, and there's a lot of different varied experience. Yeah, interesting.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Dr. Shabalala. I'm coming from Kandla. Currently, I'm working at Durban Children's Home. Before, I've been working at receiving the model in my community for 5 years. From there, I moved to William Clark for 3 years. And then I also come to DCH. I've been 3 years in DCH. Since I was working from the community, the child care was inspiring me by the way that I registered the social workers. Because while I was working in my community, when I was facing challenges, sometimes the social workers also was challenging me because some of the things that I was trying to do, they used to tell me that it is not my role to do that. While in childcare, I know that I've learned about that. So that was inspiring me that I ended up registered with UNISA doing social work. So I'm also experienced social work. But my best interests for the children. As long as I will be growing and developing the kids. I just want
Okay.
to grow.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you. Okay. There are a lot of good people who are social workers and child and youth care workers.
Yes.
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 And it's a lovely combination.
it's so lovely.
Yeah.
Morning, everyone. My name is Swisile June Shezi. I'm a child and youth care worker by profession. Since 2014, I've been with Usibindi. So I have been a community-based child and youth care worker.
Okay. Lovely. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Okay.
I'm Moses Masubu. I'm a professional child and youth care worker.
It's important.
I've been with the child care for over 5 years now, and I was based in Melmont, in rural areas. I was with Sibindi, and now I moved to Durban. And as for child care, I think I've fallen in love with the career. I've fallen in love with the content. I don't know whether it's a contest or it's a what, but you can call it. And as for that, I'm looking forward in furthering my studies in childcare.
Oh, wonderful. Good, good.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sithendile Nombela. I'm a child and care worker since 2014. I was groomed by NACCW. I've worked in ECBND. I've worked in Dreams program with NACCW. I've been working in schools with another organization. So the thing is, I've found it very frustrating working in a school environment whereby I see that the child and care work profession is really, really needed in schools. So for NACCW to call us back and to work in another program called ECBND Impilo, it's a joy for me, because I've seen that gap in schools that we are really needed in schools, because that is where the adolescent stage, it's very hard in some children. They are not understood. They are not understood. So for me, being in that setup, it felt like it's a need that child and care workers also need to be involved in such setups. So I've also registered with UNISA. I'm studying my B.Ed, so that in future when I'm in class, I will not only be teaching but also observing and helping some learners in their development, not only just teaching.
Okay. Super. And funny you should say that this very morning, Uzeni and Kathy are both meeting with the Department of Basic Education in Pretoria on exactly this issue of child and youth care workers in schools. So, and trying to make sure that they are understanding the role that we can play. So it's interesting that it's happening as we're speaking right now.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I've just left my pencil. Can I just go and get my pencil so that I just write down anything I need to write down? I think I'm a bit nervous for this week. So I left something like that because I think I'm a little bit nervous because it's doing something different, you know. But thank you very much. I think I feel honored to be in the presence of such a rich group, because I can feel that everybody is dedicated to what it is that we do as child and youth care workers. And so thank you very much for those introductions. I maybe just to start off questions, to say, how do we describe to people what it is that we do as child and youth care workers? What it is that our roles and functions are? How do we put that across? How do we say this is what it is that we do? Anybody want to start? I can see Moses is warming up. Okay.
Oh,
Let's Moses and then I see Moses first. And
No,
then
ladies first.
Okay.
It's okay.
Me first?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. If anyone wants to know what childhood care work is in my field, the way that I describe myself, I say I'm a supporting system of a child. I vouch for child, I advocate for kids. My best interest is at a well-being of a child. That is where my focus is the holistic highly of the well-being of a child. That is a child in good care worker.
okay, okay, that's nice. And,
Yeah.
yeah. What do other people think? Moses, it's definitely your turn.
I think June has already covered what I was about to say. But in a nutshell, yes, I'm an advocate for children. That's where, okay, let me put it like this. When you talk of a child, or when you talk of a child care worker, you talk of, when you talk of a child, you talk of a child care worker. Meaning to say, I am the backbone of the development of a child. Every time when a child is there, I need to be there. I need to know everything about the child, from birth to
To out of you.
yes,
Yeah.
to out of you. So
Okay.
when you talk of a child care worker, you talk of I'm a helper. Sometimes I'm a counselor. Sometimes I'm a teacher. Sometimes I need to be a parent, depending on the situation at that time. Yes. So child care work it's everything.
That's lovely. Anybody want to add? What other views?
It's like I feel like they've said it all.
Yeah.
Child care worker is like everything. I used to call myself, and where I'm from, it's more like a TLB. There are times where you find yourself, because you are a good observer.
Sorry, TLB?
You know, like those. I mean, like. I don't
Yes,
know,
the construction-
the construction vehicles.
Construction.
Oh, okay.
Where like they do everything, you find like everything is.
I'm thinking, what social service?
The construction vehicles. Okay, the construction vehicles
Yeah.
where you find like there's a forest, there's like everything, it's muddy, it's like everything. But when you get there, the situation changes.
Yes.
A child care worker is someone who's consistent. Someone who engage. Whenever you get there, everything
must be a
changes.
shift.
I'm telling you. Even though you can find it very difficult to influence people, the surroundings, because people out there, they're so short-tempered. They don't have they're cold-hearted. By the way,
Patience.
I've worked even like at schools. Social workers used to be like, "Oh my goodness, we cannot. The children cannot listen to us." But when I got there, just to accompany them, they were like, "Oh my goodness, how to handle?" Because like children, I understand them very well. You wouldn't tell. Even in my site, they would just come and like, let's just show you our school reports, and they would be like, some could just see this jealous inside. Even though I didn't want to like make it like feel that way, you always give like the best
The
interest
best,
of
yes.
give the best.
Yeah.
You know, like when you speak of childcare, you know, just like as she said, she's registered with the BN. So I always feel like, how am I going to make it fit a child with a child in care, but a teacher at the same time? Like I've got like two careers of you know, the nursing, the nurse as a child in care worker. I don't know,
Okay.
like it fits actually.
Yeah.
It fits in most of the professions. I love it.
Okay,
That's
thank you,
childcare.
thank you. Yeah. Let's. Anyone who's next?
What I look at the child care work is it's like a Bafana goalkeeper. Because everything happens in the ground and then you are there in the poles to
Okay.
protect,
Yes.
to make sure every time the children are safe
Yeah.
around you and around the community where they stay. Even the environment, it mustn't affect them. So it's just like
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And then, how do we do that? What are the things that we do as child and youth care workers to make this happen? I love this idea. At least I understand what's a goalkeeper, even if I don't understand. Yeah. What do we do to make this happen? there. What about other people? What are you thinking?
For me, let me start by saying when a person asks me about my work, I tell them that I work with children who are at risk, children who are vulnerable. So with that meaning that I support them, I give them basic needs, I do developmental programs with them, I do therapeutic programs with them. So that's basically what I do.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was just moving this so that I catch your on
The next question was?
Yeah. What are the things that we do to make all of that happen? What are the roles, the responsibilities? What are the functions of child and youth care work? You still on the floor, so.
Yeah, the responsibilities that I do, I take care of the children. I see that everything that they need is there. And like I said, I do the developmental programs where there are skills programs and there's
Right.
different programs.
Right.
Actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, because the children remove from home because of the risk that they are, the social workers that sees that they are in. So when they are in a space where they've been removed to, that's where I get the chance to work with them and help them in the way that they need.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, for me, since I've started childcare, I've been on the field, in schools, at home. So I feel like every child is at risk, and every child needs a developmental plan until they are at youth, because we find that even though we may say that you see that the child is not at risk, but somehow the child needs to be developed in one way or another. Okay, for me is to develop the child, assess the child, observe the child movements, observe how they interact with other children, observe how they interact with adults, see how the child interacts in school, see how the child interacts at home, see how the child interacts with his or her parents. Also see how the child is developing at school, if the child is reaching every milestone in life. So for me, I've seen that in childcare that every child for me is at risk. Yeah.
So if you're saying we observe as child and youth care workers all these interactions, then once we've observed, what we do with that observation?
Okay. What we do with those observations, we intervene. We see which stakeholders are needed for the child to be groomed or to be molded, to be that child that in the end we will say we are proud of the child, or we see progress or is progressing. So for me, it's intervening, involving the right people. Okay, let's say we involve the right people. We also make sure that the process of the child to progress is going according, not people who are going to not work, or people who will slack at some point, but to ensure that the progress is there, it's going, it's an ongoing, it's continuing, not leave the child hanging or being lost, or a child even asking you what is going on, or you see the child is starting to be frustrated at some point, or you see that the child, because you made some promises, now the child has developed a different mindsets or has developed another behavior or
Okay.
lost even trust in me as a child and youth care worker. So for me, is to ensure that all people coming into the child's life are here to develop the child's best interest.
Okay, thank you. Anybody want to add? Anybody who hasn't spoken? They will come around again.
Yes, we can say that when we are doing child in youth care, it's just a calling. Because as my sister said, that when you see as you observe, you see that there's a problem there, and then you need some intervention, and then those people need to listen. Need to listen and then take action. And then something that will go like not like she was saying, handling the child, not knowing what is happening or what is going on, and then you must be patient with the child, because sometimes even the family that you are working with, maybe they won't understand what is your problem, because you are just interfering with their business. So you need to be patient and then to be consistent with what we are doing.
Now, you talked about stakeholders. What about the things and getting the stakeholders there and making sure that the other people do what they should be doing? But what about you yourself? What do you do as child and youth care workers in relation to that child?
Like, it depends where is the child. Maybe the child is at home. Maybe you see maybe at school, because I also saw that the gap with the school, because even myself, I'm registered with UNISA. I'm doing education now, because I saw the need, because the children are not being heard.
Yes.
But they are saying their needs are not being met at school.
Yeah.
So teachers, they don't have time to deal with everything that is there.
Yeah.
So as a child in your care worker, then you understand maybe the child need this, and then maybe when you are just want to help, they'll say, oh, it's not your problem, so just leave it like that without helping the child.
Okay.
They don't understand.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. You're gonna speak, yeah?
For me, when it comes to child care, I'm very sensitive. Like when someone asks you what's the child care, what's the child care, first of all, I used to say I'm all in one. Because I'm doing everything with the child. I'm teaching, as a child care, I'm teaching the kids. I'm accompanying them to the hospital, to all support system. I'm the one who advocate for the kids. And I also love the unlovable. I'm the one who look beyond the child. I'm one who understands the child very well. I'm the one who always consider the context of the child. I'm the one who understands that whatever the child is doing, there is a need behind the behavior of the child. There is some emotions maybe happen who drive the kids to behave in that way. So when it comes to child, and I'm also the one as a child care who has cultural competence and to understand very well the background of the kids, that sometimes the children can behave like this because of this. There is no one who understands that child care workers. So as a child care workers, I'm the one who always be there for the child. And even with the multidisciplinary team, the child care worker is the one who's have the most important things he's doing. The role that is very important is the child care worker who's doing that in the multidisciplinary.
Why do you say that? Why do you say the child and youth care worker is so important there in the multidisciplinary team?
Because the child care worker is always in the side, in the child's side.
Yes.
Always
in the life space of the child, always feel comfortable.
And we do understand some other professionals sometimes they, especially sometimes with the social workers, we also have some boundaries. Sometimes with the child workers,
we mostly focus on the best interest of the child.
Yeah.
So even we consider the ethics, all of the stuff, but we always focusing on the best interest of the child.
Yeah.
What is right for the child.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Ooh, I could have this conversation the whole day. Who else hasn't spoken?
Oh.
Yeah.
I think for me, being a childcare, it's being the voice of the children. We fight for the children because we are the ones who sometimes be able to observe the needs of the children, and at the same time we refer the children to the right stakeholders if needed. And if we do that refer, we don't just fill the paper and just give it to that person who we have referred, but sometimes we need to hold their hand and go with them there to make sure that all the children's needs are met.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then we also, as children care workers, we work like a needle and a cotton. We mustn't leave any stitch unsewn. So it's like we need to do everything.
Yes.
So that we will be satisfied and feel like there is something I've done for child's life.
Yes.
It's fulfilling. And then even even the child with both parents, sometimes they are at risk too.
Yes.
Because they think if they give children everything, so the child will grow will grow very, very well.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we find out there are some lacking areas where the child needs to grow in, where his parents or her parents didn't touch it. Like the child is not knowing how to do chores at home.
Yes.
She just eats and leave the cup or the plates there. So as children in care, we teach him, we motivate. We need children to be good as they are going. When they're going out, they mustn't struggle. They must face the world as we have been shaping them up.
And how do we motivate? How, when you say motivate, it's a hard thing to do, isn't it?
Yes, it's hard because the children comes to you or in your center or in your care with different background or different emotions.
Yes.
Yes. Sometimes they touching some areas. They only leave that important part emotionally. You can see the child, his health, his needs, whatever, but deep inside we don't know what was happening to him.
So that emotional well-being is what we are. That is also a very important part of what we are.
Because if the child is not well emotionally, it's affects
everything else. Yeah. But that's also, I want to say, a hard thing to do. How do we work with children's emotional well-being? Yeah? I heard you also say you love the unlovable as well, which is the same thing really. It's like children who are very at risk, but we go near them, we go to them.
And sometimes we help the parents to understand the children at home as we work in the community. We help the families to understand the adults to understand each other and the children.
Just to add, sometimes it's very difficult to work with the families. For me, I come from the rural areas, so the parents will be like, will feel threatened by us, thinking that we are now taking their positions as parents for their children. But sometimes we find it very hard to make the parents understand that, no, I'm here to help you, to help the child to grow up.
Right.
Sometimes it's very difficult. But as childcare, we have our ways.
Yeah.
To make them understand.
So when we say we have our ways, what are those ways? Okay, I'll come back to that then. Who's next? Everybody wants to speak. Let's go. Okay, you can we'll go back to Moses. We'll go around again.
Okay, so what I wanted to say was that if you are a child in your character, in order for your work to be easy, you have to have a very good communication skills. You need to be a good listener, not always talk, giving information. At some point, you need to listen. And when you listen, you need to show that you listen and pay attention. Because the other things that mostly with the young children and youth, they are not behaved. We take decision for them.
Yes.
We think what you think is right because you are an elder. It's right for the child. You don't want to hear the child's view. We don't even give them the chance to take the decision on their own. We don't even the parents don't even involve them in decision making. So that make the child feel belittled.
Yeah.
That's what also triggers their emotions. So if you involve a child each and every step in whatever decision, and not unless if you're referring to a stakeholder because the child might not understand if you're taking to a social worker. But if you have to, it is a problem that needs to be dealt with as you're a child and you care worker, involve the child as much as possible, so that the child will also feel the importance of being a child, feel that this is about him or her. Yes, we are doing this for their well-being, or we are doing this to better or improve their life. And as well as empowering yourself as a child in character, it is important. You don't get enough of skills. Add more and more and more because you don't understand which cases.
I want to come back to the skills just now. So just park that thought there. Okay.
Hey, so I mean,
I was going to say, I thought there was someone else. Sorry. And then
yes, I am a good child and youth care worker because I was listening. So, yes, on my behalf, really, your views, guys, are very important, and really, it is what we are doing in our everyday life. But I've also got one point where for each and every child, you have to identify a child's needs individually. Because what works for one child may not work with the other child. So it is very good to identify their needs and then look at it strength-based. So as that you know what kind of programs maybe you will need to run with each set of children.
Yeah. Thank you for that contribution. Yes, that notion of individualizing. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. With Moses.
Finally.
And then you.
I was going to answer to the question. I think you asked, how do we
emotion?
Yes, how do we help the child with emotional issues? Okay, I think it goes back to the relationship that you have with the child. So the more the relationship is stable between you and the child, that is when the child will be able to trust you.
Yes.
Meaning to say, he or she will be able to tell you everything that is going on in his or her life. And just to add on what my sister just said there, it's true. A child might share feelings with me and then decide to go and help the child. Fine, I'll get there at home, and then the mother or the parent will think, because they have this thing of misinterpreting us, saying that we are here to take over. Yes, we want to be mothers, brothers, and fathers to their children, which is not true.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think as a child and youth care worker, my sister just said there that you become a goalkeeper meaning to say all the punches, you get all the punches. But the punches are not actually important. The important part in here, it's about showing up. Even with those injuries of punches, you show up because you know that at the end, this is what I want, and this is what at the end I need to achieve, which is what is best for the child. Yes. It's about yes.
Just before we go on to you, I want to just ask, when you say that relationship,
Yes.
it's all very well, but what do we do to establish that relationship? It doesn't just happen, does it?
Just happen.
It doesn't just
Okay.
Okay. Other people are gonna answer. She was next.
Okay, because my response is linked to what he has just said in the emotions part. So I will just give you guys an example because I've been working in schools. So I was once told to go to a learner who doesn't want to talk, who doesn't want to participate in class, who just sits alone during break time. So what I first did was that I took my lunch, went where the child is, then I just sit and I was like, "You want some bread?" And he was like, "Okay." The second day, same thing. My lunch, we share lunch. The third day, it went on until a week. So after a week, I went back on Monday. Same thing, lunch. Okay, now he starts to talk. Okay, where are you from? I am from Manbani. Okay, so are you okay? Now he starts to open up to me because he sees that I care.
Yes.
I show up. I became a friend what he was longing for. I became a person who showed care of what he was longing for a very long time. So we started to talk, shared his emotions, shared what is going on in his life space, shared what his emotions are going through in class, share how his teachers are treating him. So because of all these 3 or 4 things I've just mentioned, it affected him a lot up to a point where he felt like he needed to end his life. So for me, it was I felt a sense of the need for child workers to be in schools. That is where when I realized that there's a lot of work for us in schools. And understanding children in schools and understanding their needs, and for teachers to understand, because at some point I sat with a principal at some school and he was like, "Hey, so tell me your caseload, how are things going?" And I said to him, the thing is, I'm not happy. And he was like, "Okay, what is going on?" I said, I feel like my kids are being violated in the school. And he was like, "In what way?" Okay, and I said to him, most of our kids are coming from different backgrounds with different scars or wounds. So coming in here in schools and the teacher coming in and calling the child with names, and giving the child an attitude and beating the child, there's nothing good that is going to come from the child. Because already the child is damaged, and at school you're also damaging the child. So it's important that you understand our learners individually, what is going on with their emotion, and not being like, okay, the child is rude. Find out why the child is being rude.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's a very interesting story, and I think it's just only a child and youth care worker that would do that.
Yes.
Go share their lunch. Yeah.
And I've got like 100 of cases after that every day. and they ended up calling me a social worker, and I was like, "No, I'm not a social worker. I'm not." Because I was there to do a program, but not take cases, and I ended up taking cases. But for me, it was like, okay, it's fine. Okay, I will take them.
Who's next?
Okay, speaking of the emotional challenges,
Yes.
like you said, how do you engage with what is it that you do? It's not different what I'm going to say, the listening skills. At first, I was prejudiced and stereotyped, thinking that, like the buildings, when you're from those big house, it means everything is fine.
Yeah.
Along the way, I was like, oh my goodness, I was wrong. Because at first I was like, hey, those small houses are the ones that need more attention. I just find that it's quite different, okay? When it comes to emotions, maybe in most of those big houses, most of the people, they're not being listened to.
Yeah.
So what is it that I used to do from where I'm from? Because sometimes they may have like different attitudes towards you. Some used to feel like when you come, maybe you're gonna judge them or you're gonna make it like worse. Maybe beating them out. What I used to do, like especially those who didn't want to go to school. There was a child who didn't want to go to school from May, and also I advocated her, like taking her back to school.
Yeah.
But what I did was to find the problem, the source of the problem. Even though like at first she ran away,
Yeah.
and then I was like, at the same time I was supervising and helping the other child in the care worker. So I ended up like we managed that behavior. I listened. And then being there, I went with her to the school.
So what was the source of that behavior? What
It was the negligence. She was like neglected. It's child-headed family.
Okay.
So nobody tells what to do,
Yeah.
what to do if you feel like sleeping. And even when you get inside the room, there also other younger ones who've got babies and a lot of like when it comes to hygiene, the kids under the bed, like everything, even the pots inside. It was very hectic, but getting there was too much. But at the end of the day, they understood that our aim was not to hurt them, but being there with them. I went to school. I was there sitting next to her, but they always think that we're going to charge them. Maybe most people used to come that way to shout. But at the end of the day, no, I think how about we do this way? Okay, you said your problem, you don't go to school because you're always hungry. Mom, take the card. We also help and bring that card to a child and show that whatever they buy. And like the emotions, whenever I see them at the mall, they'll be the one, hello. Because the relationship that you build is about helping them. Even at school, like are always like focused on their strengths rather than their weaknesses. Because the teacher maybe will just give the response in a very negative way. Oh, that's one, she loves boys. And I won't go that way. So that one, it's obvious she won't make it in grade 12. What are you saying? To be like, okay, maybe you're just trying, but this one, me, I've got trust in her.
Yeah.
So whatever she does, I praise, make her feel that she belongs. So that along the way, I felt so bad that the fact that I left them. So you end up being like, have this bond with them. So they change wherever you get them. So that's how you change the emotions.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Who else?
I just want to share this with you guys. Being a childcare is not about a profession only, but childcare lives in our lives. I just want to share this incident that makes me so proud about myself about being a childcare. I was in a mall. Then there was this lady carrying a child. Then the child was crying so loud. I then decided, no, this is enough now. I then went to the lady and asked why the child is crying so much. She told me that there's nothing wrong, it's just that the child wants her milk. Then I said, then give it to her. Then she said, no, I can't because there are a lot of people here. I said, no, you must go and find the perfect place, the comfortable place. And then I spotted the place. I said, go there and sit and breastfeed the child. And I made sure that the lady Then I was proud of myself, but at the same time, I asked myself that, what if this lady refused to give the child? But then I told myself, no, she couldn't, because I know that I'm a childcare. Then I would have speak for the child until she do what she needed to do.
You get
This case of rain.
No, I was
long time ago.
Yes. it's just that for a child to know that how they feel emotional. Like it's better to be in their level. Not come there with high and
exactly.
don't have time for them. Just be in their level. What they are doing, you must do whatever it is they are doing. Maybe if they don't want to, like just call. Maybe if they can help you with something, just because that one don't want to talk, so I must leave like that. Yes. Like maybe they are sitting in the room, go and sit there, talk with them, engage. Yes. Because sometimes, like when we are, as we are working in residential, maybe when we are there, they just move away.
Yes.
Yes, because they don't want to hear what they are talking about.
Right.
Just say, I know, I'm just here to sit with you, just to talk. Yes, with things.
Yeah.
Don't or judge what they are saying, or maybe just criticize them. No, just be involved in whatever they are doing.
Very interesting. Did you want to add? Who was it who was going to add? Was it you? No. You're going to... Oh, no.
Okay. No, it's... just want to share... I don't know, it's another story, but it's one that I said with my sisters there. I was walking in town, and there's this mother with a child. These mothers of today, the child is walking in front of her, and then without holding the child, I think she was 2 or 1.5, I don't know.
Little one.
Yes, the little one.
Wow.
They are crossing the road, and here's come a car. The child was almost hit by the car, and I was there. What I'm trying to say is the child care lives in us. And then I got angry. Why are you not holding the child? Because you know that you're crossing the street. Why are you not holding the child? The child was almost hit by the car. And then I shouted at her, not knowing that her boyfriend or husband to a point where her boyfriend arrived, and then he saw us, shouting at each other, and then he asked only one question. Kutwan, my brother, is this your child? What is going on here? No, this is not my child. But yes, it is my child. Yeah. Then I pull off, I put out my name tag. Look here, I'm a child and not care worker, and I'm going to arrest you right now and right here. Yes. They were like, okay, no. They said to apologize. No, we are sorry. It was her negligence. Yes, it was her negligence. Yes. So what I'm trying to say is that this thing of being a child
is a calling.
It's a calling. And you have no places where, no, I have to be myself here, I have to behave. No, it just kicks in. Every time. When you come across with a situation, it just kicks in. Even if it means you have to be angry, you become angry, you shout, you do, and it's in us. We live childcare.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Even in our homes, when you are off at home, like you've been there, maybe some 16 children come and to play in your yard, and then your family complains that, hey, there you are. When you are there, the children are there. 16 of them are playing in your yard.
Yeah.
Not even come and ask, not even to come and greet. They're just there. There's auntie, and then yes.
Because they know that where you are, they want to be. They want to be there.
For me, I just want to add on the relationship with the child. When they were talking about the relationship with the child, that it's very important to have a good relationship with the child, because it's where you're getting access to help the child by building a good relationship. I want to share my story that was happening that made me see myself as like a child care worker. I was very proud of being a child care worker, whereby I was working in a children's home. In a children's home, I was working with teenagers. When I was working with teenagers, most of the time about the sexual abuse cases, to take them to Childline, it used to be social workers. So there are some child care workers. There are some children who come to children's homes with that cases of sexual abuse, maybe 3 or 4, then come to the house. So I've been able to work with the kids, whereby I was working with, I think there was 3 children who has been sexual abused, whom the social workers knows about them. By building a relationship, formulating a good relationship with the kids, I've been able to identify about 7 children in my house who was sexual abuse, while the social worker don't know about it. The way I was working with the child, the activities I was doing, all the programs, the skills I was applying while I was working with the kids, I've been able to identify all those kids who were sexual abused. And I was identifying professionally. I made sure that I was doing like the sessions like young people empowerment, whereby they want later they were calling those issues because they ended up shared everything. They ended up as a support group that we all like being sexual abused, and it was very helpful for them.
Yes,
it was like for the house, everyone knows about it. But the way I was working on it was like in a professional.
Yes.
There was no one who was calling someone that's when I've been sexual abused. I was making it. I was thinking if there was somebody else, it won't be like this. Just because I'm a child care, I was a child care worker, and I was like willing to help a child. I was always looking beyond the child. That is why I've been able to identify the things that the social workers were supposed to identify from the kids, but I've been identifying because I was living with the children in the house.
That's so interesting.
And also, like I like to advocate with the kids by the way that when the child is going to the Childline, if I can see that there is no development, I was using to accompany the child so that I will see what is happening, and I want to continue with the social worker from the Childline what I was doing, and I wanted to add my own skills of being a child worker to develop that child. Right. That's a child care.
Yeah. So talking about skills now, how did you get the skills? Is it through the training? Is it where? And did the training help? And should we be doing other training?
Yes, I think with the training it really helps a lot, but sometimes I think it's inside of you. Yes, mostly if you are going to look at it from a spiritual perspective, so it's really like something which is inside of you, and sometimes with the trainings and even the gatherings that we have, you will acquire some sort of a skill, and then because I think where we sometimes really fall short, it is that sometimes we don't want to go out and seek for help where we are really falling short. Like maybe I will not go to my sister and say, I'm having a challenge with a particular child, because I think as child and youth care workers, we are supposed to go and reach out and say, there's a child which is very challenging. How can I maybe deal with such an issue? Then she will tell you, okay, try option 1, 2, and 3, and then you will know. But I think we are really falling short at, if I go and tell her, she will think maybe I am less of a child and youth care worker. So I think we must really go out and engage and socialize and see where we really need to uplift ourselves. But with the trainings, I really think we are doing well.
And I think your point about needing other child and youth care workers to get perspective,
Yes, we
get
do.
different ideas, very important.
We really do.
Yeah,
We really do.
yeah. So training, let's hear from the trainer.
About the skills.
What do you think? Do you think that the training helps one to become a child and youth care worker? Is it? And are there things that we're missing in the training? Yeah. So
it helps a lot. It's like when I started child and youth care work from 2007 in the community where I was working for ECB at Indwedwe. So I wasn't being aware of that when you being a childcare worker, you've been carrying a lot of things like this that we're doing. And then I was thinking that if you feed a child, I think a child is fine. Like
that's childcare.
Yes. But when I've trained, when my mind was opening.
Really?
Yes.
It did open.
Yes, it did open my mind.
Really?
Even my heart too.
Yes. Is it?
Yes. Because sometimes people use like when Tammy is my child, I can only care for Tammy, not this child.
Yes.
But now I know that the child from next door is my child too.
Yes.
I have to. Yes. So being trained as a child and youth care worker and a trainer, it helps. It helps.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, I can say the training helps. Also, it helps you as an individual because there are some like they make you step away of the things that maybe you need to do or not.
Right.
Maybe we can receive a same training, but the way we apply the training is it should be different.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Thank you.
I would say training helps a lot because when I started the profession of child and youth care, I wasn't even aware what I was going to do. I was just a youth who finished matric and then stayed at home, and then I heard there was some post. I applied. And then when I came there, they said child and youth care. It was even my first time hearing about child and youth care.
Yes.
I didn't even know. But as time, I have a child. I had a child already. But as I did the training, it even opened my eyes in terms of raising my own child. I was even picking up things that I was doing that I wasn't supposed to be doing. I even picking up things that I should be doing that I wasn't doing. Yeah, so training equipped us a lot, and it also helps with bothering yourself, research, ask questions, ask people, go on conferences if you get time, go on online and read books and everything to equip your skills. Even them youth, the child that we work with, they even help us to equip our skills because we learn a lot from them. We don't know everything. There are some other things that we do not know. So if you are open enough to be willing to learn from them, you learn a lot as well. Yes.
I also agree that the trainings helps a lot because when you see a person who's like a volunteer and a childcare worker who has experience, you can see the difference there because they come just to help.
Yes.
But a childcare worker who have experience and who have done the workshops and the trainings, you can see when they are working with the child that they are patient with the child, there is consistency, and there is more difference between those two people.
Right.
So I would say that the trainings are needed in childcare, and from time to time the workshops.
Top ups.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I was going to add on what my sister said there. Okay. We're talking about skills, right? Personally, I think as a child and youth care worker, there are some skills that we can obtain, like we have said, from trainings, yes. But also there are skills that are from us.
Yes.
Yes, within us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I normally associate child care with faith.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's more like faith. You know, you sit down, you read your Bible, and then there's this thing within you, spiritually, talking with you. For example, we come across with different issues, and then we're like, okay, how did I do that? How did I come out from this? You find a problem, then you deal with it immediately, and then it's like Moses leading the what?
Israel.
The Israel. Yes.
Good.
We all know that they were across the Red Sea.
Yes.
But then the voice spoke with Moses and told him to what?
Right.
Yes. And then they crossed the Red Sea, right?
Yes.
And then after they crossed the Red Sea, and then they were like, okay, how did this happen? How did this happen? And then that is when and where they realized that no, God is there. He's with us. So it's something as child care. Some skills can be obtained through trainings, but some cannot. It's just they come inside.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, the trainings. Speaking of trainings, they help a lot. As much as you may have that little skill, but childcare trainings mold, shapes, gives the direction. Even in the community. I'm going to make an example. Of course, you are all child and care workers here.
Yes.
I don't find it very difficult to have a relationship with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you already have the trainings. You know, speaking of training, I started from 2014. We had different behaviors, attitude, this thing of myself. Yes. But at the end of the trainings, we were brothers. It's something. It's built. It changes everything. The attitude, the behavior, everything. Where I was being able, at first, I used to have this is my place. Only to find that no. I'll just move all around. Having a relationship with everyone, it also contributes to you when it's being able to make a relationship. And then more than that, as just to add, fortunately, I'm not to say unfortunately, I gave birth to a child with cerebral palsy. But I found it easy because it brings everything about any kind of a child that you're going to be working with.
Yes.
So I was able to observe. Fortunately, he was my firstborn. Yeah. So I found it very easy. Yesterday I was there, then the doctors were oh, are you something or what? Only to find no. I'm a child and care worker. They feel you seem to be familiar with everything. But it's because of childcare. When you get into the clinic, you make sure you're able to engage with occupational therapists, and the terms are not difficult because you're always working with them. Speech therapists, you know what the difference is. The occupational, the physiotherapist, the speech therapist, and they were oh, they assume maybe that I occupy a very high profession, or maybe salary. They end up saying, do you have medical aid? I was oh my goodness, you guys. So child and medical work helped me. I was without this profession, I don't know where I would be. So that's why I say, I wish I could just further and further. Tell the word, stand outside the word and say, there is a profession that helps a lot.
Thank you. I think that you will. You will go on and on. So is there anything are there gaps in the training? Is there places that we should be training different things, more things? Is there things that we should be including in the training that we don't have, that you can think of?
Yeah. I think when it comes to computer literacy.
Okay.
People need to be developed because you may find that a person knows like everything regarding the work, but when it comes to make things faster, because we're from different locations. Maybe I'm from rural, as much as I've got the IT background. Maybe some strikers can't even like type a word. You don't know where to start because when you go on and on, maybe you're working in different. Making an example, I was employed in a different NGO. At the end of the day, I was supposed to do all the reports and I was very lucky that I had like the skills because they used to be they would be happy if I wouldn't be able, because I would end up saying, oh please. It's not a problem to say may I please, because what I've observed from them is that they wanted to see me failing along the way, so they would be surprised. Oh no, like Miss Know It All, not like fun, like very it's like the skills, computer skills. I wish everybody could get that.
Things are changing also.
Exactly.
Okay. And anything else to do that could help one with the child or the family that you feel that we're not covering in the training? No, that's a helpful point. That a computer, I think we all agreed here. I think everybody was going, that's a good thing. But if we think about, are there other things that you feel that we've missed in the training or anything like that?
I think sometimes even the family needs to have some sort of training. Although maybe the child has been removed from them, but at the meantime they need to get some training. Also. Because maybe at the end of the day the child will return to them what they are going to do with because we find out that the child will come back because the family won't cope with the behavior of the child. So maybe there's.
So that family work is very important.
Yes. I think that if they can be at a path where we can do parenting training, because we do try to talk about preventing teenage pregnancy. Okay, fine. It's not guaranteed, and then there are teenage pregnancy that is happening around. So it's a teenager is pregnant. How do I ensure that she becomes a good mother? Because she became a mother at an early stage. Instead of labeling her, you love boys, you got what you wanted. How do I equip the child to become a good mother? Maybe if there are some sort of trainings that you go under to teach you how to be a good mother, how to do it. As much as it's difficult, but it's doable, to show that they are as someone supporting, because it's like if you got a child at an early stage, you are a disgrace automatically to a family or to a community, so no one cares what else you do. It's like you are a boss of your own now. You see for yourself. How can we make sure that they are put in the right direction? Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, I really second my sister. The parenting program, it is really important. I have done it last day. It is really fruitful and it really touches much on what she was really saying. And I think maybe if you we need it going forward, maybe I can have a word with you and then maybe try and maybe put it to the centers. Because I really think it is really lacking in some way. Yes, as much as we have child care and also those parenting skills, it will really help it to be very much effective.
Thank you.
Because they are the one that puts the child at risk. If I don't have good parenting skills, obviously my child is going to be at risk.
But as child and youth care workers, we're saying that's important to have those
skills. Yes. Okay. In fact, every mother should be a child and a youth care worker.
Yes. Not just to add on what she just said. Yes, that would eliminate the chances of being misinterpreted in our profession, because as they got the skills, they know what is child care, what is meant of them as the parents, that would eliminate the chances of being calling us, labeling us, and all the stuff. So it is very much important that they got the trainings. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? What do other people think? Anything else that would help in child and youth care workers being better child and youth care workers, or to deal with the complexities of what we have to deal with as child and youth care workers?
I would like to add in terms of emotional support.
We
deal with lots of it's emotional draining, physical, everything.
Okay.
But if I see who is vouching for us, because you cannot service the child, help the child if you yourself are broken, vulnerable. We need that. We've got little bits of that supporting system in terms of counseling, emotional, therapeutic. We don't have it at all. But we don't need it as social workers, as CYCs. So in other words, if we go to the field, we're going to be able to work and service the child correctly. Yes, we do need that because we find cases that are emotionally draining. Yes, they taking a lot from us. But who do we go back to and then and cry if you have to cry or cough it out if you mean to cough it out if it's a traumatic accident? Who do you go to and then get that support?
Okay.
Where do we get our support system?
So you saying that in the training we should really talk also about how to restore yourself as a child and youth care worker, because maybe there aren't the people who will be able to do it for you. You have to learn to do it for yourselves. Okay.
We do need that.
That is an interesting point.
I don't know how I can put this, but some of us, we started to be child and youth care workers, but deep inside us, we see that some being violated before, like when we are in the working environment, you will see a child and youth care worker that was needing that child care before to be held. You will see about his or her actions that she need this thing. She was grown up in a broken family, whatever the case might. But I don't know how we can get that training to help us to drain out those pains which are inside us. And then I think also put that, because sometimes you can feel that a person, you can hear a person that, people just go away from me, they don't love me, like she complained like a child. What a child can do, what child can say if you have all those things that are not being dealt with inside. And then after that, your work will be apart. Then because we will take all those stress and all those pain through the child.
That's very interesting.
Also for me, I have a bit of a similar situation and a similar to your story. So I started my training in 2014 in February. Also in February, my first son was diagnosed with autism. So for me, attending a training on how to develop a child, for me, it became frustrating. It was painful. Too much. It was painful, and I had a lot of confusion and a lot of things going on. So I did not have that support, even though I shared it and I was crying for a very long time, because right now I can talk about it and not cry. So that means I have healed, I've accepted it, and I've learned how to deal with it. So for me, I found it difficult to even share my stories or share how I developed my own child, because I was also frustrated and needed the training on how to go about helping my own child. Even now, some sessions do not go deeper on how to help a child who are living with disability, especially mentally disability, because it differs. It differs. And I've also been doing my own research, and after studying with BEd, I'll also go and branch into studying mental illnesses and how to, especially for kids, for children.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for raising that point about that disability. I was trained, but it was only me in my science. So I'd like for us to be able to get all the CYC must get the training about disability, because I'm here now. They are left behind. What they're going to do, because they used to take me and go and do visits with me, because I'm trained. I know.
For those special programs.
For
all CYCs to also receive it.
And another thing, it's similar to yours, but it's a parenting, but you sometimes they get bed because they are ready to. But what about the young mothers? There are young mothers who are 15, sometimes 14. Yes. So you find them dropping out of school. Some they neglect their children and leave their children to be looked after by their grandmothers. So I just want to know how to make them realize it's not the end of the world because they have a child. They can go back to school.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And that's what you're saying, is that the response to their situation is because they are thinking this is the end of the world. My life is ended.
They are struggling to balance parenthood and their lives.
And also being a child.
They are
struggling.
And also the judgment from the community environment where they are.
Right. Okay. That's very interesting because we've talked about a lot of things that could enrich the training and make for child and youth care workers to be better skilled. Are there any other things that anybody wants to add?
On this, what as the sister said, as we are playing off the skills, and some of the skills I got it. So I've got that feeling, which if you can make sure that all childcare workers are in the same level, because sometimes you can see your colleague, the way she behaves, you can see there's something that she did not get.
Yes.
Yeah. So some of the skills that they are talking about, I received because I remember when I was in the community, when I was lost my partner, the father of my kids, I got a support. Even in CCW, they sent some therapist who was doing caring for caregivers. She was helping us. I can't remember the name. Leslie. I think so. So she was doing one-on-one to all of us, and some of child workers were sexually abused. Is when they were held on that program.
Right.
So if you can make sure that all child workers receive all therapeutic programs, so that they can be able to understand the kids and respond positively to the kids.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Just to add on what she just said. Yes, it's true. We need, I don't know what to call it, maybe centers or places where, as child and youth care workers, we need to be taken to for healing. Because we've been through a lot. Personally, and I don't have my parents. My parents died. I was very young. I don't know them. I was raised by a grandmother. And then as I grow up, I finish up school, and then I got in this child care, and I learned about the child a lot. And then as I was learning about the child and the needs and all the things that should be happening that the child should have, and then I started to think of myself. I related the context to myself. And then I was like, okay, I didn't get this.
Yes.
I didn't get this.
Yes.
This is what was supposed to be done to me. But and then it got into me.
Yes.
I started to break out.
Right.
Even today, when I come across a child with a similar situation as mine,
Yes.
the first thing I do, I cry.
Yeah.
I cry because I think
trigger.
I still need that healing process,
healing.
that closure. Yes.
Yeah.
So as childcare workers, I think it's very important that we have those centers. We need to be taken away from communities or centers wherever we are working, to be just have this I don't know what to call it, but to be there, have people to talk to us.
Yeah. To have some
Yes.
healing
Yes.
opportunities.
Healing
Yes, to
opportunities.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
I think it's very important.
Okay.
We should also
Yeah.
involve that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You raise a very important point, because all of us, I think, in child and youth care work, no matter where we come from, we all come with some wound.
Yes. Yes.
Because if you have a wound yourself, you can understand
Yes.
that someone else has pain,
Yes.
and you can understand that pain, and then you can actually work with them. But that wound is often very painful, and we have to take long times in life to be able to work with that wound, and yeah. So thank you. Yeah. We're going to need to close up just now, but my head is starting to get full. Yeah. No. The point that I want to listen to the point you were going to.
It's not something different. I'm going to emphasize,
Yeah.
to stress on what he's been saying. So what I've seen and noticed in this program, it's like when selected or appointed to be a child and care, it's like they choose the child and care who have just maybe had challenges in their early development. In most cases, it could be a child and care who just lost the mother. If it's not, it's a child who lost both parents, and it's getting worse because now social development has this strategy, especially where I'm coming from. It's like, please find the children who have completed matric but who are the foster care children.
Yes.
And when you find them, because I've started with them. Unfortunately, I was the only qualified child and care worker helping with them. They had like different attitude. It was too much, but along the way, because the assertions that the mentor comes up with and me there helping them, only to find that when you are sharing maybe your journey after matric or your journey while in the early childhood, they would even cry. I would end up crying because I needed a child care worker during my development, because me too, I grew up in such a situation, not being mothered. Maybe my father would just tell me, we've just deposited money. Nobody would be there, like from primary. Then along the way I completed matric, and like there was nobody who would just come to say, oh no, Bonga, you did so well. Maybe I'll just be do well at school, but nobody would just say, would just recognize me. So I feel that there is a need of having someone who'll be like, there's someone to share with, a professional being that's just making like the one-on-one, because at the end of the day, as much as we can share as a team, maybe those who maybe it could be maybe one person who just grew up with just everything. Maybe they would end up like telling everybody regarding the confidentiality. May end up like saying how some over here, like somebody knows that I was sharing in a team, maybe talking about maybe I was being abused by the partner, or maybe being raped in your childhood, But you do need someone who's a professional, who just come with a session where you're being held emotionally, share like everything. We do need that.
Right.
Yes, and yes, I've heard when we were talking, and I think it really happens to maybe all of us, I should say, that maybe we are at work, we are busy, stressed with the children. We go back to our homes carrying those same burdens, and we are there with our own children, and also thinking about, okay, there's this child back in the center, having 1, 2, and 3 challenges, and there's your child, and that really overwhelms us. As my sister was saying, that we really need to have somewhere where we will offload. So there was a program which I went for caring for the givers.
Yeah.
So they really emphasize that we as child and youth care workers, we really sometimes have to be selfish of ourselves. Have time to ourselves, spoil ourselves. Spoil ourselves. Walk out of the center and say, okay, I will see this. The next day I'm coming.
Yeah.
Also do the same at home and just have time to yourself. I know it is not really easy.
Yeah.
Yes, it is not easy at all.
Yeah.
But at least if you can maybe try and just have time to yourself and find yourself, because if you are really carrying all those burdens, somewhere along the lines you will find yourself having a burnout eventually. That is really not good for you, or maybe the children which you are serving.
And it doesn't feel nice as well too. And you get to that place where you feel.
And children are all very observant.
Yes. Yes. So you can't hide it. that is the thing. As a child in youth care worker, when you're feeling like that, then you can't hide it. They know.
Yeah.
Even before you know, they know. They know. Yeah.
No, it's just to add on what my brother just said. I think, like you said, it's hard to have our own time because of the work that we do every day. It's hard to go out there and have fun for us. No, it's hard. It's hard. So I think it might be much easier if our employers would be the one doing it for us. Yes, because if we say we are going to do it for with ourselves, for ourselves, no, we cannot. Unless our employers, give us a circular. They should call it a circular on this day.
Okay.
Yes, and this week we are not working. We are at this place at this time doing this and that. Yes.
Yeah. People, thank you very much. I don't know if there's anybody who wants to add anything more to our discussion. I think we could carry on for the whole day, but my head will go. There's so much information that you have shared. It's such rich information. You have inspired me, and I want to thank you very much, every single person, for what you have brought here, because I feel really that I want to take this now and I want to write it down and I want to put it into words, because it is so important what you say, the richness of what you have, your thoughts and your dedication to child and youth care work. So I'm very, very, very grateful to everybody who's been part of the group, who has contributed like this. I have dedicated my life to child and youth care work. I was 21 when I started being a child and youth care worker, and I don't have a family. I have really worked as this. So what you have made me feel today is that my work has been worthwhile. So thank you very much. Thank you. You wanted to add something?
Yes, I wanted to add something. I wanted to say I wish this profession can be recognized.
Yes.
Because we as child and youth care workers, we are not recognized at all. And that's, I think for someone who's not strong, it breaks some other child and youth care workers when we work, because some other stakeholders don't recognize us at all. And yet, my honest opinion, we are the one doing the hardcore work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because we are working in the life space of a child.
Yeah.
There's no time in, there's no time out. We are always on duty.
Yeah.
When the child needs you, we are always there. But the way we are not recognized, it hurts.
Unfortunately,
it stresses me if you say you've been on the field for 40 years, and still 40 years this profession is not recognized, and it should be.
Yeah.
Because when you've come to think of this profession, every profession that involves a child, should have a child in youth care worker. At least, even if it's an FSC certificate, the background of a child in youth care worker. Teacher should have a child in youth care worker.
Yes.
Nurses, social workers, because they are the one who breaks the children that we mend them.
Yeah. Well, I do want to say to you that I have seen a very big change in 40 years. I know that we're not where we want to be. I know that. There's no way that I'm saying, oh, this is fine. It's not fine. But from where we were when I started and to where we are now, it is different.
Yes.
And there is recognition at some levels.
Yes.
And I think that we've still got to keep on advocating and fighting for the fields.
Yes.
But I think we've come a long way. So, yeah. People, thank you all very much. There's a cup of tea, something sweet to eat, to just put the sugar back in the...
I like the sound of that.
Thank you. Thank you. Did everybody sign the register? Did everybody sign?
Yes.
Super. Thank you so much. I really, really, really appreciate it. Oh, that's right. I mean, I'm so bad at admin. It's never been my strong point. So, yeah, if you can just put your signature, don't worry about your thumbprint because I haven't got anything. And your signature will be okay. And the date and the time we started was 8:30. So if you can just, that's perfect. No, don't worry. It's just this top part here that we need to fill in. Just this piece, eh? Super.
We started at 8:30, right?
Okay. Did I get this one from you?
Yes, you can.
Okay, super. Super. I got one from everybody, hey? You can keep this one, by the way, if you want. Yeah. Okay. Let me just count this. 1. Now I'm missing 1. 1. Has everybody given me 1? You just count. Maybe I can't count.
Maybe after all we can make a picture with the director.
Oh, sure.
Yes. How about a picture with the director? You got a picture with the director? Of course we do.
Did everybody fill in 1? I've only got 9. Who's statement of consent? One of these.
I did mine.
Maybe you just read out the names.
Okay, I'm going to leave them to you.
Okay, Moses Masu,
Yes.
Stembile, Ukolse, Goodness, Utuduze, Upumile, Utapo. Ubani magwazi? Ulantu uzusulisile. Elakhe lingekho. Sulisile as well.
Under here.
No, let me know.
Thank you. Thank you. Sure. Yeah, sure. Yes, please feel free to have something or to go if you need to go. That's absolutely fine. Thank you very much.